Alright, so Cities of Sigmar Dispossessed is a very versatile, unique faction. It is in the Cities of Sigmar sub-factions. We're on the homepage for the old Cities of Sigmar, and as you can see, we're going to have elves, we're going to have humans, and we're going to have dwarves. Now with this, they've combined the old race of dark elves and like the techless elves from old fantasy, your classic fantasy dwarves, and then your Empire and Bretonia. They put them in here, and they got rid of a lot of old models. But the reason I play dwarves is because dwarves are just the best. There are 2-star collectings. One of them is going to be dwarves. So we're going to have 10 Iron Breakers, which also can be made into Iron Drakes. You're going to have 1 Warden King, 1 Cogsmith, and a Gyrocopter or a Gyro Bomber. It's a fantastic starting set because the Iron Breakers are a great battle line unit. Fantastic. With that 3-up save, they have 2 attacks each, hitting on 4s, wounding on 3s, 1 damage apiece. That's like, mwah, mwah, mwah. You know what I'm saying? Then the Gyrocopter and Gyro Bomber. They're zippy little, dwarf helicopters. They're fun. The Gyrocopter can take care of hordes. With the steam gun, Gyro Bomber has unlimited bombs, so it can do mortals to those enemy heroes. Warden King has a swanky ability that just says, hey, I have a grudge against you. All my boys are going to have an additional attack. It's fantastic. It's the greatest thing. I keep saying fantastic. This army is out of this world, my man. And then the Cogsmith, 60 points. It can heal your war machines, so it can heal your Hellstorm rocket batteries, your steam tanks, all this other crazy stuff, your Gyrocopters, Gyro Bombers. So, it's not too bad. I think you should pick it up if you want to play this army. So we have our Warden King, which is generally your leader unit, the old Belagar Iron Hammer sculpt. Then we have our Rune Lord. Right now, the prayers are able to stack. Only 1 Rune Lord can do 1 prayer per turn, but even if 1 Rune Lord fails to do Forge Fire, the other ones can still do it with the way the rules are written, or the way the rules have not been written, because there's nothing that says otherwise. You just get to do it. So you can add Rend multiple times to a unit as long as you have Rune Lords cast it, or to pray for it. You also have Ancestral Shield, which gives your dwarves a 6-up beard save, or a save after save, but it's a beard save. Look, their beards protect them from everything. So we'll go to the next unit, which is going to be our Hammerers. The reason why the Warden King ability of getting an additional attack in with the Hammerers is fantastic. There are a lot of supporting units in Cities of Sigmar that would allow you to get +1 or 2 to hit. So we can get these guys hitting on 2s, wounding on 3s. Their wounds on a 6 explode into mortals. So we want to make sure that we get all of the attacks possible in against our enemy players' units. That way we can get as many mortal wounds dished out as possible and be able to just take them out. They also look fantastic. This same kit turns into Longbeards as well, which we'll talk about them right now. So we got our Longbeards here. I only usually take Longbeards on a unit of 10 or so, just for the buff. The buff mainly am looking at is the rerolling 1s to wound. We can use a Stormcast that's called the Night Azeros to get rerolling 1s to hit. With those 2 together, we're rerolling 1s for everything. We're able to get our attacks and sometimes our wounds to 2s, and we're hitting and wounding as much as possible with our army. And then that supplemented with some of the other city abilities, we're going to be able to even move farther and take care of some of the weaknesses that this army does have. Some of the newer ones that came out of fantasy. They can also dispel endless spells, give additional bravery, things like that, but I mainly use them for the rerolling ones. Iron Breakers and our Iron Drakes. So Iron Breakers, like I said earlier, it's a very solid unit. This is going to be one of your mainstay battle line units. Some people prefer Longbeards over these guys, but these have an additional attack. That's why I take them, and then you can add Rend to them. They also have a 3-up save always, which is another great one. The leader unit can take a pair of pistols, a pistol and a bomb, or an axe and a shield. And the bomb does D3 mortal wounds, if I recall, but you can only throw it once per game. It's not like Total War where every single unit has one. They just have one. The best unit, period, Iron Drakes. So in Tempest Eye, you can take Hawkeye as your command trait, or your command trait for your general, which gives them +1 to wound. And if you take a Celestial Hurricanum, which you're able to get +1 to wound, +1 to hit, +1 to wound, rerolling ones for everything, -1 Rend. And then if you use your Rune Lords, you can add more Rend to that, so -2, -3. And if they don't move, they're going to be shooting 60 shots. Count them with me, ladies and gentlemen. 60. 60 shots, hitting and wounding on 2s. You're re-rolling 1s. Minus up to 3 or 4 or 5 Rend. They will annihilate anything off the table if you properly use these guys. If you also pair them with that Celestial Hurricanum with Battle Wizard, and you take the Hellscream Bridge from Forbidden Power, I believe, that bridge will be, because cities get to use endless spells fully empowered. And then the bridge, instead of going, it's like 12 inches or something, it gets to go 24 inches. So you can teleport units 24 inches and it doesn't count as if they moved. So you can essentially deep strike your Iron Drakes. They haven't counted as moved. Shoot your, I think it'll probably be like 58 shots or something, because the bridge does deal damage to the unit. But you're still going to get 50-some shots. You probably won't be re-rolling the ones. It's still a lot of damage. And their base stats are 2 attacks if they didn't move, 3s, -1 Rend, 1 damage. And then you got the Torpedo that does D3 damage, and against monsters, it's going to do D6 damage. One of my favorite units, and it's always fun to bring a flamethrower to a knife fight. I talked about the Celestial Hurricanum. Bam! This puppet. So it has a cool ranged attack that does mortal wounds. It has a bubble that'll give everything +1 to wound. Sweet. It's looking for the city's keyword. So when we take Stormcast, or in Tempest Eye, if we take the Caradron Overlords, they will get this ability. They'll be able to get +1 to wound. But if you take an ally like Fire Slayers or something, they're not going to get that ability because they don't have the city's keyword. Lord Ordinator. Lord Ordinator. Well, he's going to give +1 to hit for your artillery. Anything we do in this army, we have something to give it buffs. Have it hitting way better. It's just a very synergistic army, and we're able to use these Stormcast, like the Lord Ordinator, to give +1 to hit for War Machine units, Order War Machines, and it's just gonna give all these units that are kind of okay a lot more game in an actual battle. The other unit we're gonna look at is the Knight Azeros. So if he's within 10 inches of an enemy unit, all units get rerolling 1s to hit against that enemy unit. If we have the big bad guy who we need to kill with our Iron Drakes, we get our Knight Azeros 10 inches close to him so that we can reroll those 1s. And then with our Longbeards, we make sure our Longbeards are within their 12-inch bubble of our Iron Drakes so that our Iron Drakes get to reroll 1s to wound. But we got stuck with the human artillery, which is, it's okay. Yeah. So this thing, you're going to pick how many of these you're going to shoot, and then if you do 1, no chance of it jamming. If you do 2 of them, if you get a double, it jams. If you do 3 of them, if you get a double, it jams. Your Cogsmith will let you re-roll that. It's better if you just re-roll all of the dice and hope that you just don't have to deal with it. But that's how you determine how many shots you get. So if you're doing 1, you're going to roll 1d6, 2, 2d6, 3, 3d6. If you roll any doubles, it jams. You can re-roll once with a cogsmith. Not bad. I like the steam tank as well. It's a really cool model. Here it is. But it's a very random model. Everything on this thing, you roll like 2d6 or a d6, and then you move, and it's just, it has too many inconsistencies for me to want to play it. I would love to run like 9 of them as an army, because if you run a steam tank with a commander that's as the general, the steam tanks become battle line. It just sounds really fun, but it's $60 a piece American for us. It just doesn't seem viable. I probably will get a few of these at some point. They're just really cool machines. Now, everything else I am less familiar with. I have looked at Demigryph Knights and Griffins and stuff. I do have some wizards for the old Yeet Gotrek across the field plan with some bridge action. But I haven't really looked at anything other than things to supplement my dwarves. Now, if you are not big into dwarves, you don't have to play them. I mean, shame on you, but you don't have to. You have 3 other races in Cities of Sigmar that you can choose from. And you have, I believe, 5 cities, or 6. Well, there's 2... Yeah, there's like 2 Hammerhall ones, then Hammerhall. Yeah, okay. Yeah, no, there's like 5. Like 5. There might be 6, but that one's bad. But yeah, you have like Sorceress on Black Dragon and Free Guild Generals. You got other good units to note. Hold on, where are they? You got your Free Guild Greatswords, awesome melee unit. You also are gonna have, where are the elf ones? Where are they? They're, oh, I hit show less. Are they out of stock right now? It's not the Dark Elf ones. There they are. Phoenix Guard. It was right next to it. Phoenix Guard have like a save up after save, but like I said, we can do that with our Rune Lords. We can give it to any of our units. I think their save up, or their ear save, is like, yeah, it's a 4+, and ours would be a 6. But our save for basically our whole army is about a 3+, where theirs I think is a 4. But they also have 2-inch range, 2 attacks, 3 threes, -1 rend. So they're a very tough unit as well. If you wanted to go mega death units, you take these hammers and great swords and just yeet them down the battlefield and see what sticks. But I think the important thing for any Cities of Sigmar army is to have a lot of synergy. That's going to be everything, though, for today. Thank you for listening to me just talk and ramble. This is the first video I'm doing on Bugman's Boys YouTube channel. I hope to be able to get out some battle reports to all of you with my roommate while quarantine and everything's going on. I also want to talk more about Age of Sigmar and hopefully 40k in the future. But I don't know. I haven't had a whole lot of time till recently, and I really enjoy talking about all this stuff. So if you want to follow me on twitch.tv, it's /MTGBigman. My YouTube channel, my personal YouTube channel is Bigman0192, and then you're going to find us here on Bugman's Boys. So I appreciate you all. I hope you have a wonderful day and stay safe.